What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I want to do a quick post-fight. Sullivan Barrera knocks out Vyacheslav Shabranskyy. And I just got back to the casino. Came up a little bit. It's on my Instagram story. Easy work. And again, congrats to Sullivan Barrera. I got to talk about this fight. So, this was a Golden Boy card in Indigo. And they're obviously doing Bernard Hopkins tomorrow or today, based on the time. And this was supposed to be the fight that put Shabranskyy on the map and put him in line for bigger names and bigger opportunities. He picked the wrong person. Sullivan Barrera knocked him down 3 times and stopped him. And it's crazy to me because this is the same guy, Shabranskyy, and I'm not throwing shade, I'm just being honest, that I've seen a lot of people who were praising and they're going out of their way to discredit Sullivan Barrera. But we already know what time it is. Sullivan Barrera, I met the dude, cool dude. I told people he's a good fighter. He's big. But see, this is how I'm going to tell you guys how the game goes and how this whole thing works. People want to play favoritisms, pick sides, and they pick with emotion. And that's not how you do it. People want to anoint who the next person is without that person earning their stripes, and it doesn't work like that. And you could say whatever you want in the comment sections, but the ultimate lie detector test is when they lace them up and get in that square circle, and that's what you've seen. Now, Shabranskyy, he's probably still a good fighter, but there's levels to this, and I told people this is what you guys fail to understand. I don't just come out here and praise who I think, who I like, who, you know what I'm saying, I like the way they dress and I like the way they talk, so I'm just praising them. I give credit based on what they've showed me, what I see. Even guys like Errol Spence Jr., yes, he hasn't stepped up to the biggest of names, but the reason you hear me give him credit, because from what I've seen, I can tell that there's a skill set there. From everything that I've heard from guys like Freddie Roach and Mayweather, plus what I've seen with my own 2 eyes and meeting the dude's hungry. But some of y'all get in here and start talking. Somebody was saying Shabranskyy knocked Alexander Brand down in sparring and Andre Ward couldn't knock him down in the actual fight. Y'all don't know shit about boxing, because sparring. You know what I mean? Shabranskyy could have been fresh and Brand could have been fighting 6 people before he got in there with Shabranskyy and got caught. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But that shit don't mean anything. What matters is under the bright lights. And this was supposed to be a setup fight for Shabranskyy, and now he has to climb back up that ladder. So hopefully he gets his stuff together. And I'm telling you how this game goes. People want to pick sides, and you hate Andre Ward. So anything associated with him, you want to bash it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he beat Sullivan Barrera. That was Sergey Kovalev's #1 mandatory for his IBF belt. And Dre, in his very first fight at light heavyweight, very first fight at the full light heavyweight, Paul Smith was at a catchweight. So his very first introduction in March, I was at the fight live, I covered it, was against Sullivan Barrera. So to me, it lends credence, and it's a testament to how good Andre Ward is. His first fight in the division, he fought an undefeated at that time Sullivan Barrera, who was a big puncher, coming off a knockout against Cairo Murat. And Cairo Murat, I'm not saying he's a world beater, but he's been there with Bernard Hopkins. Hopkins didn't knock him out, and he looked pretty tough, but Sullivan Barrera knocked him out, you know what I mean, in 5 rounds or so. And Sullivan was hungry. He was with Golovkin's trainer, Abel Sanchez, at the time. And Ward, off of a year layoff and moving up, beat him in dominant fashion and knocked Sullivan Barrera down. I was at the fight. You know what I'm saying? And then now Sullivan Barrera, off of a long layoff himself, he couldn't get no scraps. He was calling out Jean Pascal, and I started feeling bad for Sullivan Barrera because he was taken to social media and he's talking about how he doesn't understand just because he lost to Ward. Nobody's calling him. Nobody's willing to give him a shot. And he's a good fighter, and he wanted to fight. He left Abel Sanchez, couldn't get a fight. Then Golden Boy sets this up with Shabranskyy, and he showed you how hungry he was. Dropped him 3 times. An undefeated fighter with Golden Boy, who was a prospect that they were really pushing. And he got the stoppage in the 7th round. Beautiful stuff. You can't write this. So shout out to Sullivan Barrera. And I tried telling people tried to sleep on Sullivan Barrera in efforts to discredit Andre Ward for beating him. So try to act like who was Barrera? Okay, who was Shabranskyy, the guy that y'all was saying knocked Alexander Brand down and he was the one to beat. Some people were even saying Shabranskyy could beat Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that on my channel. This is not about disrespecting any fighter or anything like that, but I got to see you scrap. I got to see you in certain predicaments. I got to see you with a certain level of competition or something to stipulate that you could beat somebody who's proven time and time and time again they're a handful, and that's Andre Ward. Whether you thought Kovalev won or Ward, I mean, he didn't get knocked out like a lot of y'all said he was going to do, and he fought like a true champion. You know what I mean? So the game is crazy. Y'all want to just pick and choose. Oh, Shabranskyy. And then look, you know what I'm saying? He got in there with somebody who had more experience at the pro level, maybe even at the Cuban level. I don't know everything about Shabransky's his background in terms of his amateur pedigree, but it wasn't his moment. It wasn't his time. And Sullivan Barrera post fight, he was emotional. He felt for this. Like, he's like, I tried telling people. He's saying he wants the Ward rematch, and he said a lot of people like turned their backs and started doubting me. So I feel for Sullivan Barrera. That Cuban boxing school is no joke. He's a good fighter, and it's crazy that we have this like tribalism in boxing where people just want to take sides to the point where they can't even be real with what they're seeing with their own two eyes. You know what I'm saying? You hate Ward and you want to discredit everything about him, so you want to make Sullivan Barrera appear to be a bum, and then you want to like hype up and build up Shabranskyy, who hasn't even proven anything. And you got to look at it. Sullivan Barrera is the one coming off the Andre Ward loss in March, and he hasn't fought since then. Shabranskyy fought 2 times this year after Sullivan Barrera Ward, after March. You know what I'm saying? So Shabranskyy got 2 in, and this was his like 3rd fight for this particular year, and he still came up short. You know what I mean? Sullivan Barrera ain't no joke. And like I said, that experience, y'all got to start getting more realistic, new media. I tried telling y'all, I didn't do a prediction for this because, to be honest, I kind of forgot about it with all there's a lot going on in the sport of boxing in general. I'm working on some things behind the scenes, but shout out to Sullivan Barrera. He got the job done. He definitely was brought in as an opponent, and he upset the apple cart as far as I'm concerned. This was a Golden Boy card. Shabranskyy is with Golden Boy, and this was supposed to be his big coming out party with a good name in Sullivan Barrera to go on to get maybe a title shot or a bigger shot, and Sullivan Barrera wasn't having it. And I tried telling y'all, like, I'm a big dude myself, and when I seen Sullivan Barrera, I was like, okay, this dude's solid. I was actually a little bit worried for Dre. I'm like, this dude's pretty big. You know what I'm saying? He's every bit of 175, and he has that Cuban background, that Cuban schooling. They really teach you the fundamentals and stuff like that. Look how many good elite level Cubans they have. Guillermo Rigondeaux, Edeslandi Lara, Luis King Kong Ortiz, Sullivan Barrera. Lots of talent. Rancis Bartholomew. Lots of talent. Let me know what you guys think. Sullivan Barrera definitely impressed. Bounced back with a huge win. Stopped Golden Boy prospect on a Golden Boy card in the main event. So his name is back buzzing. Hopefully he gets that Alida Alvarez fight, Adonis Stevenson, maybe a Ward rematch, but I think Ward and Kovalev might have business. But he definitely deserves another scrap, and he doesn't deserve to be on the shelf that long coming off of this performance. But hopefully he gets Jean Pascal or somebody, and they want that work with him. So let me know what you guys think. Shout out to Sullivan Barrera and his new team, getting it done, proving a lot of people wrong. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.